and welcome to the Ridgeline Gym, more like my living room, but for now we'll call it our gym or studio. My name is Ari. I am the founder of Ridgeline Health and Fitness, and let me tell you, I have some good information for you today. We are going to be talking about posture and positioning, all about the alignment. This is something that I check first thing off the bat whenever I have a new client because it tells you a lot about yourself. It tells you a lot about that person. And so how do you hold yourself during the day? Where are your tight spots? Where are your weak spots? That's what a personal trainer is supposed to do. They're supposed to look at you and say, okay, what kind of things are we kind of getting into here before we even start any exercises? So first thing, you have a couple of tests to do for yourself. First thing, you're gonna find a wall that's nice and straight, okay, and tall, and you're gonna bring those heels right to the edge of it, bring your butt against it, get those shoulders back, and assess yourself. Okay, so I am standing nice and tall. I should feel my legs against it, or at least my calves. Your butt is another point that should be touching. The upper back should be touching, and your head should be touching. Can you do all those things? Now the next thing is, you're kissing the wall right now. Now if you add your arms, where are you compensating? Does your hips fall forward? Does your chest come up? Does your head go forward? Because you can't bring those arms back. Can you even get your hands onto the wall? Can you even get those elbows? And when you rise up and down, can you maintain that? All right, so this is your first test of this sequence here. The second thing is you want to assess yourself how you stand. So, just look at yourself right now, kind of shake it out, noodle around, let your body relax, and then stand still for a second. Okay, now look down at your hands. Where are your hands placed? Okay, mine are at normal position. I'm able to hold myself in proper alignment. However, if you have rounded shoulders, see that adjustment in my hands. So if you are here and you're holding yourself in a natural position, but your palms are against your thighs here, just at a resting state, that tells you a lot about yourself, that you're holding a lot of that tension in your chest. So bringing those shoulders back and holding yourself open, just even turning your hands out will change a lot for your frame. Okay, so try that out, practice it, especially when you're at your desk working along and then you stand up and you're like this. Okay, can I go on to my next thing? No, okay, hold on for a second, check yourself, get those shoulders back, and then turn your hands out, and then go about your day, because then look at how much better that looks. Okay, all right, and then the next thing is there's a lot of times that we have a hard time because these muscles in our back have been forced into this position because we're here a lot of the time, at the desk, doing sports, gardening, picking up the kids, taking care of kids, doing the dishes. You're always in this forward position, especially moms, holding your baby here or holding her or him in front of you like this. It makes a big difference. So how can you adjust this and help yourself out a little bit? This is a really hard one, but grab a dowel or a broomstick, grab the top of it with one hand, and you're gonna bring it in the back side of you. This is kind of like the wall test, except now we're using a dowel to evaluate a little bit more. So I'm trying to keep my head on the dowel or touching the dowel up top. I'm also trying to get it even with my butt. So as you can see, I can do that, but a lot of times if you have a rounded back, and you have a little bit of kyphosis, or what some people call a hunchback, you might be here, okay? And you can't grab this. You might have a hard time because your arms might be tight. So just, it's another self-assessment just to see where you're at. And then switch sides, making sure you do both sides to see if maybe it's your arms that are really tight, and if that's the case, don't worry, we have some stuff to show you how to open that up. But a really great tool to use to help in that point of your body. The other thing is for that kyphosis, not only are we rounding our shoulders forward, okay, now we got that, but our head, what is our head doing now, okay? So one thing you can do, put 1 or 2 fingers on your chin and chin tuck it, okay? You can do this when you're standing, you can do it at your desk when you're seated, you can do it into the pillow when you go to bed. It's such a great exercise to practice to really get your muscles to engage properly. The other thing that I like to do too, but you have to be very gentle because these neck muscles are very fragile, okay? We have to treat them with so much care, but bring 2 fingers on your chin, and then you have your hand at the very base of your skull here, okay? So I'm trying to get my hand kind of nestled in there like a support system, and then I'm gonna tuck my chin, tuck it, and you can kind of notice that I'm lifting too. So I tuck and lift this up, okay? It's so simple, and it's very, very like I'm being over dramatic right now because I want you to see the difference when I'm adding that little lift in the back. It actually helps with relieving headaches too. So if you're known to have some headaches, that actually might be one technique to help relieve that. There's a lot of tension that goes in this neck. So if we, as much as we can, create space for ourselves to let things kind of go normal and fluid and nicely. So there's that. Okay, now talk about some exercises to help strengthen you. Every single class, move more. The morning stretch, our core foundation class, I am always talking about squeezing into the W. So one thing you can do is right here, okay? Up and down, lifting those arms, squeezing in the back. Sometimes, especially in class, I'll have you come forward to stretch a little bit in the back side, but then open up and squeeze back. For this sake, because that's a dynamic move and we kind of go in a circle to kind of warm up our arms. But for this strengthening piece, bring your arms to the side, rise them up, and then push those elbows back. And I'll show you kind of the back view. I'm rising up, pushing back, okay? Those are those W's. Good. All right. And then the next thing is we have our upper back exercise too against the ball. So if you have a chair, you're gonna grab that chair. It needs to be nice and sturdy, or you can bring it against the wall. And I'm going to get this little bouncy ball, okay? It's like a kick ball. I'm gonna place it on the back side of the chair, and I would like it to kind of sit on in between the 2 scapular bones, so those bones that kind of sit, that hold your arms and they go in and out and you can feel them. You're placing the ball right between there. I'm gonna let my arms out into the side, and you can see right there, the ball is creating a little obstacle for my body, and it's making me open up this chest. So when you're here, you can kind of open up and then kind of release. Open, squeeze, and push the ball here, okay? Some people like to bring their hands behind their head and do the same thing, okay? In and out, or even up here, bring those arms over. There is a such thing as overextending, so don't go too crazy and throw yourself over the ball. Yes, you are doing that a little bit, but not to the point where you're overarching in the lower back, okay? So we're just really trying to open up this upper back, and like you just saw, I can also do my W squeezes here, okay, with the ball to support me, and press for resistance. All right, and then the other thing you can do in a chair, if you are known for a little anterior pelvic tilt, you can tell if you are, especially against the wall, if your butt doesn't quite touch, or if you have that overarch here, just putting a towel behind your back. And you might do this already because a lot of people who have this issue know it. You have a lot of back pain, but you're gonna put that towel right in the very bottom of your arch of your back and support yourself. Press right into it so you have that support, and you're training your pelvis to hold its positioning throughout the day. So if you're in a car for a long time, if you're sitting at a desk for a long time, this is a really, really good way to support your spine in a better alignment. All right, and then the other thing is, with a little adjustments here, do you have one of these? This is a lacrosse ball, so it's hard. A tennis ball works too. I think lacrosse balls are like the way to go, so if you have one or if you have access to one, grab it. And this is a trigger point. So you can use this at, at any piece of your muscles, big muscles. Stick with the big muscles to start, because we're no physical therapists here. But you can actually use it to relieve a lot of tension in these trap muscles and the upper back muscles. So what I usually do is I'll throw it into a sock. I'll have the tail end of the sock, and this will be hanging, and then you can bring it over your shoulder. It's a little bit easier to do that. And then you can go against the wall and hold it there and find the tension, kind of roll it around, adjust it if you need to, and then you'll feel tight spots. Be gentle first, nice and easy. Some people will put 2 lacrosse balls into a sock and do it that way. I like to use just one so I can really focus on where the heck I'm bringing this thing, because it can get lost in your muscles. So when you are navigating back there and trying to find those pieces to massage, you will find bony structures. So if you ever come across a really hard spot or a boniness, that's a bone. We don't massage that, okay? So you want to stay on the soft stuff up here or back here in your scapula, and especially in between the scapula here. That's where a lot of knots hang out, and we need to trigger those out, okay? And when you feel a really, really tight spot and you're like, oh my God, that hurts so much, stay on it, maybe relieve some of the pressure, but breathe. Okay, breathing in and out helps relieve those tight spots. Okay, and then last few here. So we talked about a lot about sitting, about exercises to help us, but what do we do when we start to walk along and carry along our day? Well, you stand up, check your positioning, get those hands out, maybe even bring your hands behind your back. So this is the next one. Bring those hands back, stretch yourself out, and then try to maintain that position and that feeling you have in your upper body. And then you can go about your day and walk this way and back and around and turn and keep maintaining this posture all day long. It takes a lot of brain power to remember to do all of these things, okay? Because it's so easy to kind of just fall right back into where we started, okay? So practice, get that open, turn those shoulders, open up your hands, and you're off and running. The last thing is an exercise that I highly recommend doing. I do it at least 3 times a week. I should probably be doing it 5 times a week, or maybe every day in a light sense. So if it's a light resistance. So I have a resistance band that is jammed into my door over there. And I'll show you what to do. So you can sit down, so I can sit and do this exercise, but we're doing rows, okay? So what do rows do for you? Well, let me show you how to do it first. So you're gonna be in an athletic stance if you're standing like I am, and I'm just gonna pull back, okay? And you should see a little crease back there. We're building those back muscles as we go in and out. And just start nice and light at first, exhaling. Whenever you pull towards you, okay? The other thing is, are you raising your shoulders up? Are you bringing those shoulders to your ears when you do that? If you are, adjust, get those shoulders down, and really just focus on your elbows, drawing back to squeeze these 2 scapulas together, okay? I always put my finger right in between there when I'm in one-on-one with people to make sure they know, okay, that's where I should be squeezing. Oh, okay, that's a big difference. You can also go back like this. That'll work a little bit of tricep, but still the same thing, working muscles in the back side. And you can also do a W squeeze. Hello, W. That's why I love them so much. It's because you have so many options with that squeeze, and it's so beneficial. So do that. When you can do it, it's a really, really great exercise to add to your routine every day. So with that said, those are some techniques and tips and exercises to help you maintain proper positioning all throughout your day. So go out there, turn yourself into a really beautiful person. Open up, smile, those type of things help a lot. So have a good one. I'll talk to you guys soon.